Good morning. Welcome to our 6 a.m. Pacific Time daily devotional using 365 Science of Mind, a Year of Wisdom by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And every time I light these candles, I imagine you, all of the people joining for this moment, like a bright light in the world. That's what it represents to me. We've been practicing since before the beginning of the year, and we'll continue throughout the year. And I'm so glad you're here. And thank you for letting me know where you are tuning in from. Today's reading is about affirmative prayer. And I'm going to leave it to you who are using the book to read the first two paragraphs. There's so much to unpack there. And I think what I'd like to do today is go straight to practice by using the words in the third paragraph as a launching pad. Today I affirm the all good. I know that my word, being acted upon by a power that is greater than I am, is sure to accomplish its purpose. So my word is being acted upon. I think of the Greek word logos, and that's how this is being used, and that it relates to the becoming form from the divine, and is associated with the second person of the Holy Trinity, which in some way of thinking is the manifest universe. So when I speak my word, what I'm talking about with that phrase is the creative, formative concept. That's what my word means. Doesn't mean the words coming out of my mouth. So one of the ways we express our word is through our imagination. Now, some people can close their eyes and immediately see images with their imagination. Some people close their eyes and they don't see images, but they experience their imagination as describing to themselves, like a scene, a story. Some people close their eyes and they're less interested in the details of what it looks like because they're feeling. So all of these and other ways too are appropriate ways of using your imagination, creating your word. And today I'm going to invite you to join me to use your imagination. Speak your word in the way, in the mode that matches you. I know it's not spring yet, exactly. But imagine those roads leading to Ukraine clear, clean, inhabited by fresh, spring-like nature. Even though you may never have been to Ukraine, imagine streets in cities inhabited by people who are happy and safe. Now, in our times, one of the great calls to imagination came through the song of John Lennon's Imagination. The second verse says, "Imagine there's no countries." It isn't hard to do. nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. And imagine all the people living life in peace. So whether you feel that, or you can see it with your eyes closed, or you just listen to it as if a song is running through your head. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. The line says a brotherhood of man, but we can make that gender inclusive and say it a community of beings. I know it doesn't rhyme. Imagine all the people sharing the world. And of course, the refrain says, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And that is true today because we are part of the dreaming of a global community of people elevated by their spiritual knowledge of their wholeness. Now, we have in our movement, Centers for Spiritual Living, a similar vision to imagine. It's called the Global Vision. And it can be used in this practice of imagining. And I invite you to do this with me now, to just sit, let your eyes close. And I'm going to use the words of the Global Vision, but I'm going to insert in certain places the words Russia and Ukraine. So as you breathe in and relax, I envision all the people of Russia and Ukraine and all the sentient beings there as expressions of the divine. I see, I feel, or I think about Russia and Ukraine as places in which each person is living in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with the divine creative principle within, feeling connection with one another, being called to their highest state of consciousness and action on their own terms. I envision Russia and Ukraine continuously awaking, the people of Russia and Ukraine awakening to their spiritual magnificence more and more every day, discovering the creative power of thought rooted in the goodness of spirit. I envision Russia and Ukraine living as part of one global family where there is respect mutually, honor, interconnectedness with all life, kinship with life, being guided through spiritual wisdom and experience. I envision Russia and Ukraine as part of a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area, political, corporate, academic, social, where sustainable structures are created, where there is a global consciousness. I envision Russia and Ukraine as places where every person in their countries has enough food, a safe home, a sense of belonging, a heart of peace and harmony, and justice for all. I envision Russia and Ukraine as places in the world where resources are valued and cared for and grown, and where there is generous and continuous sharing of resources, and where there is a culture of forgiveness as a norm. I envision Russia and Ukraine as renewing its awareness of beauty and nature and love, where there's a resurgence of creativity and art and aesthetics. I envision Russia and Ukraine as a world, a part of a world that works for all sentient beings. Today I affirm the all good. I know that my word that I have just expressed is being acted upon by a power greater than I am. And so it is sure to accomplish its purpose. Therefore, I find peace and an inward tranquility in my own acceptance of this vision. The law of God is perfect. And so my word, my concept is certain and acted upon by a perfect process. I trust this process deeply. And finding security in this complete trust, I gratefully accept every good thing that comes about as a result of me having spoken my word along with these my friends. And all the good that comes in love, I share with all. Today I affirm the all good, and I know that my word is acted upon by a power greater than I am. And so it is. If something is incomplete in you, or if perhaps you cried yourself to sleep last night, or you feel the urge to engage in more prayer, please contact the World Ministry of Prayer. The link is in the description of this broadcast. And trained licensed prayer practitioners are on standby to work with you. Thank you for sharing this broadcast. Every day, dozens of you share it. And I'm so grateful. I need your sharing, your assistance for me to be able to do my work, which is to articulate the message of Centers for Spiritual Living and the global vision which we just heard. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.